Most big things start small. Many giant companies around the world today started in people's garages. As the saying goes, from small beginnings come great things. And that, in essence, is also the story of International Community School, Ghana. In 1998, Dr. and Mrs. Yeboah moved back to Ghana after spending 7 years in graduate and postgraduate studies in the US. They settled in Kumasi, where Dr. Yeboah was to pastor a church and teach at a seminary. But there was an immediate challenge.
Prior to our whole family moving to Ghana in August 1998, Dr. Yeboah had traveled to Ghana in May to talk to people he would be working with at the church and seminary, look into housing, schools, and general conditions in Ghana. Everything seemed fine except school for our daughter Debbie. I remember receiving a call from him and telling me about the challenges associated with finding the right school. And right there on the phone, we found a solution.
Solution? They decided to start their own school.
So when we made a decision during the phone call that we're going to start a school, we decided to rent a rather big house in Patase, Kumasi, and use part of the house, for the school whenever we're ready. So we got a 9-bedroom house owned by the Obbins. We lived in half of the house and then reserved the other half for the future school that we dreamt about. So between May 98 and August 91, when we finally moved, to Ghana, we decided to use some of the savings that we had from the little stipend that I was receiving at the university to purchase some computers and some few educational resources, for the school that we had talked about. In August 98, we came as planned. After about 6 months or so, we decided to set up, the other half for the school. We spoke to a few friends in church about what we wanted to do, and some parents volunteered their kids. We had 7 children to start with, including our own daughter, who was 2. Our older child, couldn't attend the school because she was too old. Few weeks, into the school, word spread, that a couple from the US were running a school. Parents are seeing the difference in their kids' education. And not long after we started, the number grew from 7 to 25. And then thereafter, the following year, the number went to 60. And at that point, we decided it was time to move out of the house.
In the year 2001, the school bought a rather ambitious piece of property, a 20-acre land at Pechi Number 1, which would become the permanent home of ICS Kumasi.
The Pechi campus, which today is the main campus of the school, developed in phases. As we expanded, we did it to meet the growth, that we were experiencing in terms of students' numbers.
The first phase construction of the permanent ICS campus began in June 2003, and the primary school, kindergarten to year 4, moved to the brand new campus the following year. The school kept on growing in student numbers and staff strength, and the growth was matched by corresponding expansion of facilities on the Pechi campus. I have always wondered challenges Dr. and Mrs. Yeboah might have faced as they managed and grew ICS before it became what it is today.
Oh yes, we've had our fair share of challenges, like any venture that anybody starts. One of the challenges that we had were first with staff. Because the school was new, we had recruited, few teachers from University of Cape Coast. But because they could not see the future of the school, they spent a year or so and left. The biggest challenge that we faced was really in 2004, when the US organization that we were partnered with decided to leave abruptly. And when they left, they withdrew all their teachers who were the lead teachers in the school. So all the American teachers, left. And on top of that, they also did quite some bad mouthing of the school and its leaders, to the point where about 150 students left the school out of 320 pupils that we had then. That was like losing 50% of your student population. So all over town, rumors were circulating that people were withdrawing their kids from the school. You will hear, that this family says we are not returning, this family says we are not returning. And Mr. Boy and I, wondering, would we even have, 10 kids, return to the school? We were, however, determined that even if nobody came back, that we were going to still stay put and continue running the school. For the first day of school in September 2004, we went, to the campus. Of course, we saw some came, some didn't, some came, some didn't. And by the time we did the last count, we had about half of the students in school and half had left. The good news is that that same year, about 150 students, new students joined the school and made up for those that had left. And so we didn't have to dismiss, any staff. As if the withdrawal of students were not enough, we had, parents, digging into the schools, operation.
There were parents who had left the school, but who were still bent on hurting the school. Some went to IRS and SNIT to check and see whether we were paying our deductions to the appropriate authorities so they could report us. And of course, they learned that we had not missed even 1 month's payment.
Some went to the Metro Director of Education and complained that we were forcing Ghanaian children, to learn foreign curriculum. ICS was the first school to start international curriculum UK system in Kumasi. And so a team of officials came from the Metro office. They came to our office and they discovered, that parents that were in the school had signed a form saying they had put their kids there out of their own volition. John Maxwell once said that one is small a number to achieve greatness. It is very easy for people and natural of people to assume that organizational growth, depend on leaders. And yes, leaders play key role, but it takes a village to raise a child, like we say. So it's taking the whole ICS village to raise children in this house and to grow the school to where we see it now. We couldn't have done it all by ourselves. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the gallant ICS staff who have worked so hard and collaborated with us and worked with us to bring the school to where we are. Some are here and have served, over the period the school has been in existence, like Ms. Apam.
Hi, my name is Charity Apam. Since the inception of ICS, I've been part of it. I started from Patase and then moved to Pechi. After Pechi, I moved to Obuase. And then after Obuase, I was part of the first people that came to start the Accra school. And I'm still here. It was amazing joining a school like that because it was one in town. The ICS believe in its staff and invest heavily in us. That's one thing you never take from ICS. I mean, they give you the PDs, the training within the school, within the region, and even outside the region. My boss took me to America just to have an opportunity and have the exposure. I came here as a SS graduate, but being able to run through the ladder, went through the formal schools, and then with the help of ICS trainings, it has helped me to become a better teacher, a professional teacher. And now I'm even supporting my head of school to run the preschool.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Tichi, head of prep school, Accra campus. I am honored to be part of this great institution. And as we celebrate our 25th anniversary, I just want to say thank you to ICS. My journey with ICS started about 17 years ago in 2007 as a national service personnel. And within the 17 years, I have learned, I have challenged myself, I've been supported, and I have grown as an educator.
Others have been here for 20 years, 18 years, 17 years, 10 years, 5 years, and some just joined the school. And they all have made their contribution to where we are now. All of us have worked together to create the ICS that we see today. And so I equal to all of us.
Happy 25th anniversary, ICS.